Hey everyone, and welcome back. So, in our last explainer, we covered program learning outcomes, and now we're going to pivot and talk about general education outcome assessment, or as you'll hear us call them, GEOs. We're going to walk through what they are, why we do this, and probably most importantly, what it all looks like for you. Okay, before we dive into any of the details, I want to start with the number one thing you need to know, and it's this. This whole process is designed to be as straightforward as possible. Seriously, if your course happens to be part of the GEO assessment for the semester, you're not going to have to hunt for information. You'll get a direct notification with every single link, all the instructions, and all the support you need, all laid out for you. All right, so let's get into it. First up, what are GEOs? Let's talk about the why behind this whole process and what makes it so important for our students. So what exactly are these GEOs? Well, you can think of them as the absolute essential skills, things like critical thinking, communication, that students really need to succeed, not just in college, but in their careers too. And it's important to know this isn't just an internal thing we came up with. It's actually a state requirement from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. It's their way of making sure that every single student in a Texas public college is building that critical foundation. The schedule for this is pretty logical. It's designed to follow a student's journey. So in the fall, we focus on English 1301. Then, when we get to the spring, we move on to English 1302 and our literature courses. This setup lets us see how students are developing as they move through our program. And for those literature courses that don't run every semester, no big deal. We just assess them whenever they're offered. Now, this obviously brings up a huge question, right? How in the world can we measure these skills consistently when we have so many different courses, so many different instructors? Well, the answer is in the tool that kind of makes this whole thing work. And that solution is our universal rubric system. We use the exact same 7-point scale for every single general education course, from English 1301 all the way through our sophomore lit classes. And this gives us something really powerful. A consistent, reliable way to actually see and track real student growth over their time with us. Okay, so this table might look a little technical, but the idea behind it is really cool. It shows how we balance the feedback we want to give with the reporting we have to do. Our internal 7-point scale lets us be really nuanced. It gives us room to see small steps of progress. But for the state, it converts perfectly into their required 4-point scale. So this one system does two jobs at once. It gives us the rich detail we need, and it lets us meet state requirements without any extra hassle. It's pretty slick. And this is where you can really see that growth we're talking about. I mean, just look at the jump in written communication here. A beginning student is stating simple, disconnected facts. Reading is important. But a student who's hitting that target level, they're doing something way more complex. They're crafting a narrative, analyzing their own identity, managing an academic tone. That's a huge, tangible leap forward. And we see that same exact jump when we look at critical thinking. The first example is a pretty simple observation, but that stronger one, that's real analysis. The student is connecting a specific academic challenge to a much deeper insight about self-advocacy and courage. This is exactly the kind of reflective thinking we're trying to nurture. Now, of course, we apply this rubric with fair, realistic expectations. We're not expecting an English 1301 student to be performing at the same level as a sophomore who's deep into a literature course. As you can see here, the target levels go up as students advance. The goal is always about measuring their progress along that path, seeing them grow with us. Okay, so let's get to the part you've probably been waiting for. What exactly is your role in all of this? Let's walk through the very clear and, I promise, very manageable steps you'll be taking. Your part really boils down to 5 simple actions. First, just give your students a little nudge to watch their own short orientation video. Second, and this is so important, just talk about these GEO skills when you're going over their work. Then the last 3 steps all happen at the end of the term. You'll upload a sample of some of the strongest student work, you'll assess that sample with the rubric we give you, and then you'll share your assignment prompt. That's it. It's a clear step-by-step process. And for the students themselves, honestly, their part is even simpler. All they have to do is watch a quick orientation video and fill out a brief survey near the beginning of the semester, and then do one more quick survey at the end. And we absolutely encourage you to integrate these materials right into your course to make it totally seamless for them. Okay, I really want to pause and emphasize this next part. You are absolutely 100% not alone in this process. We've put a really robust support system in place to help you every single step of the way. Your central hub, your home base for everything, is our SharePoint site. It's called English Learning Outcomes Training and Info. The link will be right in that notification email you get, so it'll be super easy to find. We've really tried to make it a one-stop shop for anything you could possibly need. So what's on the site? Well, you'll find the complete rubrics, you'll find more student writing examples just like the ones we looked at, some helpful little video training modules, assessment guides, and most importantly, you'll find the contact info for the entire Learning Outcomes Committee. And that's the key thing to remember. While the SharePoint site is an amazing resource, there are real people behind it. The committee is always here to help. If you have questions, if you need some guidance, whatever it is, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. So let's just zoom out for a second and bring it all together. Why does this matter? Well, it directly helps our students get ready to transfer, it helps us meet our state requirements, and it gives us fantastic data to help us improve our program for everyone. But I think most importantly, it gives all of us a shared language to make those amazing, valuable conversations we're already having with students about their work even better. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about checking a box or collecting data. It's a real opportunity to deepen what we do in the classroom and to truly see and celebrate our students' growth as thinkers and as writers. Thank you so much for your time.